Girl, it's what I heard. Allegedly, it's just the word. Allegedly, it's on the street. Allegedly, I sing to the beat. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly. Allegedly, it's just the word allegedly. It's what I heard allegedly. It's on the street allegedly. I sing to the beat allegedly. Allegedly, allegedly, it's what I heard allegedly. It's just the word allegedly. Don't blame, don't sue allegedly. It won't help you allegedly. Allegedly.
Hello. So we are 1 hour out. I'd love it if someone would join me in the room because I think we have some important predictions to make. I also think that tonight is a pivotal episode. I think that tonight we take back reality television from these dark Eric Fuller plot lines. And is it sad that Kenya had to get hung out to dry? Yes, I'm going to say it is sad that sometimes in life a point must be proven and somebody is going to be, so you going to end up being that point that is proven. However, Kenya, you have been given ample chancel to make it on this show. And the fact that Cynthia just said, you know what, I'm disgusted with this, I'm going to leave right now, it really shows, girl, you weren't there. Girl, you weren't where you were supposed to be at your age group, at your, at your higher auntie level. You're not supposed to be out here fighting with the girls. You're supposed to be shepherding them. And I, like Cynthia saying that, I was like, yeah, I could definitely see being like, I don't want to be associated with that either. And what is that? Cynthia is a little older, and she's like, I don't want to be associated with hating on a younger heifer. I don't want to be associated with that. I think it's really time for us to read the room. And all the people saying, oh, well, that would have flown season 1 or season 2. Actually, I don't know about that because there was one season of $1 Million Listing where they did that because Frederick Elkland has a porn out there somewhere, and a guy found it and aired it at one of the broker openings, and it's like, we're not those people anymore. Like, you go back and you watch All in the Family and you listen to that language, it's like, ooh, God, we're not those people anymore. And so I feel like Kenya going and hey Feisty, I feel like Kenya going to back to that place of early reality TV where we were politically incorrect and we shamed people for things that we partake in. It's like we're not that society anymore. It's too hypocritical to talk about sex workers. It's too hypocritical. Please. It's not necessary. Sex workers work. It's like, why, and especially Kenya, why do you need to demean other women? Now, I'm going to ask y'all this, and I mean this from the bottom of my fairy heart. When has Kenya not demeaned other women? I'll wait. I will wait. Vindication or implication? Here's the thing, Kenya did it. There ain't nothing to vindicate over. Like, there's no reason for you to get out here in this with this type of behavior at this stage in life. There's no excuse. There's no excuse being this damn threatened by other women. This is your idea of a plot line, and you still want to say, I was scared. I was Thank God she wasn't white, because I feel like you would have tried to make it a little racial and you would have really ended up Nene. You would have really ended up Nene. That heifer ain't threatening you. That heifer did not do anything that warranted this response. I can tell you that. If you were that afraid, and also if production was like, okay, we're not going to take this seriously, maybe because there wasn't anything to be taken seriously. You like to whine, Kenya. You like to whine. And sometimes it ain't worth taking seriously. That threat, I wouldn't have taken that shit seriously either, and I would have told you to shut up too. Because sometimes it's okay for people to tell you to shut up, because sometimes you're doing too much. Not all the time, but sometimes, Kenya. Sometimes. And now you've done too much and you sat your ass down, and I don't know if you're going to come back. I don't know if you're going to come back, because this isn't the Real Housewives of Kenya Moore. This is the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You seem to forget that. They are moving on with a new pack of women. Candied and already, like, look around, girl. Ain't none of y'all left. The older ones that started this shit, Cynthia, she is now an auntie of the show. Like, they had, I will say, I'm not too hopeful the fact that they had to bring Cynthia and Phaedra in, because I'm like, why do they need them to prop the show up on their shoulders? Yep, she's moving like Nene did back when, whining way too much about network. Oh, I didn't feel safe. Don't. Even if you didn't, shut up about it. Even if you, I would say the way NBC works, the way we have seen them blackball Nene, baby, if you like working, I'd shut my mouth. Girl, I know now, if I get over at Bravo and I get zip the lip, you don't get to say anything negative over there. Is it right? Absolutely not. But that's how they operate, and they have way more power than me right now, so I'm going to just shut up and abide. Kenya, you might have wanted to abide. Because, baby, the way they did Nene lets you know we're not fucking with you. Open your mouth if you want to. They really are like, if you want to say something, you can. You can. You'll never work again. Ever. Anywhere. Zeus. Take your shit right on over to Zeus and YouTube. Girl. And she can't even get her shit off the ground on YouTube. They threw in a Google block on that ass. Oh, I'm glad you like the blue shirt. If you heard Bolo one more time, yep. Portia helped swoosh Kenya out. That's what Kenya didn't see coming. You know what, King Cole? Oh, King Cole, I believe you. Oh, there's, hey, Feisty. I'm sorry if you was waiting, I just saw. But
no, I just popped in. Hey, everybody.
Cole, I believe this. Do you believe this? I firmly believe this. Like, because remember, this is an ensemble cast. I think that some of the girls could have had some pull to try to keep her. I feel like Portia said, fire the bitch.
That's what she did to Nene.
Behind closed doors. Because Portia, I feel, wants to act like, oh, I cared about Kenya in front of the camera. But I feel like behind the scenes, she threw her under the bus.
I mean, that's what she did to Nene, so it's not abnormal for her.
Not the downgrade to baddies. Yes. Kenya has her own YouTube channel. She ain't doing nothing with it. And honestly, Kenya, it's time for you to come onto YouTube. It's time for you to join us with podcasting. It's time for you to have, it's been time for you to have a life outside of this show. And it's just so bass backwards to see you trying to start a brick and mortar when your fame is on the dwindle right now.
She has to do
Like
something
that.
with it.
I hope she can. I
Me
really
too. That's a
hope
lot of
that
money to eat.
it's a lot of money in it, but it's also a lot of oversaturation. I just and also it's Kenya isn't. I think it's Chris brought up shout out to Chris. He sent it to me right after we had filmed something. He said it's only open 3 days a week. Ask your viewers how she plans to make money with that.
She can't afford to stay open 5 days, 7 days a week. It's 5, 6, 7 days a week because Kenya. But this is why when we had this conversation about it a couple of days ago, I said opening in Atlanta was the biggest mistake because it's oversaturated. Like Atlanta is the epicenter of Black hair care. This is where the Bonner Brothers exist and all of this, there's so many hairstylists in Atlanta. We literally see people from different parts of the country move to Atlanta because there are different opportunities and they want to get on with like Tyler Perry Studios and stuff like that, or because there's so many celebrities in Atlanta that they can, do celebrity hair or whatnot. It probably would have been as competitive as opening in like the LA market. I just think that it was not the best choice because Kenya Moore is not known for hair. She's not someone who did hair and then decided to open a salon because your clients are going to follow you wherever you go. You don't have any clients because you don't do hair. And if somebody already either works at another shop or works for themselves, why would they stop working where they are working to come work for you? What incentive is there other than being on television?
Yes. Kenya's brand on the show has never been likable, and that hurts her in business. And I think that's also the thing and it's never been, and this is exactly the premise of tonight's episode. You were so unlikable. You got yourself put off your own show. And now, you're crying about your business, and we feel for you, but we're also like, we have watched you have, like, honestly, for some of these housewives, you've been given way more chances and had way more opportunity after doing shit like sneaking and getting married off camera. And then you come back, and I just kind of feel like you've Sheree Whitfielded the platform. Like, other than, sipping tea and talking about Bolo, like, what is Kenya Moore doing?
I'll be honest. I really do feel for her just because, like what I said earlier today, I'm rooting for everybody Black. Shout out to Issa Rae. I want the 3 Black housewives, the 3 Black shows on Bravo to do well because they all we got. But like, I am a Fields family fan. Okay, Chip, Alexis, and Kim. The North remembers what she did to Kim Fields that season. Her time was coming for a while. The petty part of me just needed to say that. Okay.
I forgot about that Kim Fields chair push.
Because, people keep acting like, oh, Kenya just pulls a stunt. No, like, we're not going to act like that chair pull didn't happen or her insinuating that man was gay because she didn't like Kim Fields and grandstanding the way she did and straight bullying Kim Fields for no reason. Being totally, I would like to think that I've had as big of a career as you have. Ma'am, let's stop.
Please. She's directed for Disney, for crying out loud.
Let's stop, please.
Jesus.
Like, the entire family is prolific. Let's not do this. But I really just like, okay, can I tell you, Alex, is this a secure line? Can I tell you the truth?
Yes.
This whole Kenya thing is giving me season 5 of Potomac deja vu, where before the show aired, Monique was telling us all this stuff about why her and Candace got into that altercation. And then when it aired on television, nothing she said made sense. And we could not pinpoint the exact reason why Monique did what she did. I don't believe she was in fear of her safety or her life. I really think that Kenya fell under the pressure of being the anchor and pulled a stunt to make sure the footage from her hair spa got aired this time, because the last time it didn't get aired. I don't think she was that bothered by Britt Edie. I just don't.
And that's, I can get that. And and the thing is, you shouldn't be bothered by a Brit Edie. You should realize, like, the new girls are coming for your spot. And the truth is, you should be willing to give it up at this point. Like, it's sad to see her clinging to this show like this, and you see you clung too tight, now you're being pried off. But it's like, damn, we can't, like, I want more for Kenya Moore. I want her to not have to stoop this low to feel like this is what I have to do to stay relevant, because that means you don't have anything else going on, and there's got to be something else that's interesting. But also, she needs to sit with herself and realize, okay, you know what? I got to change my image. I have been the mean girl, and nobody wants to see. We're rooting for everybody black, but it's hard to root for somebody that's unlikable. So I have to show myself in a different light on this show, because this one note ain't getting me nowhere.
I think she thought that as well. I think going into last season and this season, that was the intention. But I really think that, like, when I think about everything that was happening at the time, we were complaining. The YouTubers, the viewers across all the platforms were complaining about how terrible Atlanta was, how it needed to go on a break, how they needed to recast the entire show, and all of the above, right? And then the network puts the show on hiatus to figure out what to do. And for a while, we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know who was going to come back. And by the time they finally started circling back around and saying this, that, and the third, you come, you come, you come. But I feel like production was putting a lot of pressure on the port, especially once again, like we talked about earlier, Portia and Simon, their mess threw off the storyline that they thought they were going to have. They thought Portia was going to be able to show this, that, and the third, and Portia became limited on what she could film. All of that stuff with Simon pulling those injunctions happened after filming started. I really think production started putting more pressure on Kenya to show more and do more. And I really think what she's about to do at that hair spa is because of that pressure. I don't think she was that bothered by Britt Edie. And before everybody crucifies me in the chat, I'm not saying that Britt Edie wasn't wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't think Kenya was bothered by it. And I think now her throwing out, when she said pistols, she said whips, this is after this lady was at risk of losing her job. I think she's in a situation now where she's trying to prove. That's why I said it gives me season 5 of Potomac. The reason why Monique hit Candace changed every 5 minutes until we finally made it to the reunion. And her final reason was, they talked about my child. But before then, Candace hit me first. Candace told me to drag her. Candace threw a glass in my face. It was always something different. I really feel like this is right now, Kenya just trying to salvage something. But let's be real, on the show, on the Housewives of Atlanta, not only have there been acts of violence on this show, but there's also been people who have a history of violence on this show, especially like a Marlo who's done time in jail for it. And Kenya has been threatened with actual physical violence. Not, I got this and I got that, but I'm going to do this to you if you continue to do this. And she's never been this bothered before. I just don't believe that is the reason why she did it. Like I said, Britt was wrong and Britt is behaving like a weirdo, but I just don't believe that was the motivation behind Kenya's actions. I really think that Kenya was desperate. I need them to feature my hair salon on this season. And the last time I filmed the scene in it, remember she had a soft grand opening before, and when they never showed it on the show, she never even opened it. So now we're going to come back around. This is almost 2 years ago when she had the first opening, and that building has just been sitting there, guys. I really think that she feel like she could pull a stunt to make sure the footage made it to the show.
And that's the thing. You are like, you've been in Atlanta for a decade. You ain't got no, like, that shows you are not that girl in Atlanta that you need to be to run a business somewhere. Because that's a different level of being in and of the community. And it's like, what, like, if like you're from the Atlanta Housewives, like, why wouldn't you have the community support to be like, well, I can open with or without Bravo? Like, that's the thing. You shouldn't need the cameras there for your successful business after being on this show for 10 years. Portia dragged her and now they are friends. She poured $400K. I just feel, no, I was just saying, Nandi, I think that she needed to not come on this season as old Kenya, but maybe as friendly Kenya. Kind of like how Giselle came and tried to be friendly this year, tried to not be, you know, her usual mean self. And I mean, it still pops out, but it's like, okay, I see you putting an effort to be likable. I see you putting an effort to be friendly. Let Britt Edie be the mean girl. Let her be mean. Give somebody else a chance to be the asshole, because Lord knows you've done it long enough. And nobody wants to go to an asshole to get their hairs did.
Now, you know, it is very obvious that they are editing Kenya out of the show. We know that she does not have any confessionals, and she's not really getting any scenes by herself showing what she has going on. But I wonder if, now thinking about it, I wonder if that's because they are cutting her out as a punishment, or if she wasn't giving enough. Like, that's why I keep asking, where was her producer when all of this was happening? Somebody had to have known she was going to pull this. I really think that it was a stunt from pressure from production. I really think that somebody behind the scenes was pushing her like, this is not going to work. You guys got to do something. Like, we are under fire right now. This is our last chance to get Atlanta out. They're going to pull the show. They're going to cancel the show. They're going to, like, I really think that that's what's going on for a lot of them, because even with the new girls seem to have a level of desperation behind them too. Everybody seems to be really antsy on the show to make something happen.
Yeah. I think the new girls know if the new girls want to make it to the next season. And I kind of think like everybody, even Portia, they ended up like not having much of a storyline. So they're really trying to cook something up. And I guess because Kenya's never had much of a storyline, hers is always somebody else's business. Like when her and Phaedra came on, her storyline was trying to fuck Apollo.
Yeah, the workout video, and then flirting with Apollo, and then all of that back and forth. And usually her conflict exists with someone else, but like I said, it's just weird to me the way it's playing out is very weird to me, and I think that there's some missing parts of the puzzle. But I truly believe that's the part that's missing when it comes to Kenya. I really think that I think she got played by somebody in production. And then when the bottom fell out, I think that's the reason why she keeps saying, I've never been protected. I don't know where that comes from, but I do believe that whatever this little plan was, someone in production either gave it to her or assisted her with the execution. And then once the complaint started, I think she got thrown under the bus as the scapegoat.
I could see that too. Well, yeah. Because then they're going to say, well, you were the one that actually did it, so you can't blame production.
I think she got thrown under the bus. I don't think she did it by herself. Like, to be clear, because I don't want to get crucified in the chat, I'm not saying that this wasn't her idea or that she didn't want to do it. I'm saying that this was not hers alone. I think she had assistance, but I think once like I said, from the top, you know, the complaint started happening, they wanted answers. I think the person or the people assisting her put it all on Kenya.
Yep. And it was like, okay, well, under the bus you go. I think that I could definitely see that she was encouraged to do something, and then yeah, it got up too high. And also maybe her producer got fired too, and we just didn't hear about it.
We don't know. Yeah, because we typically don't know producers by name. Shout out to Carlos King, the king of Black reality television.
Oh, how could we forget?
We can't forget that.
Let's see. Kenya failed. I feel like Kenya did fail against Britt because you are an OG. You should know how these things work. And you should know how, like, Sometimes okay, I'm not going to win this one. As irritating as it is, sometimes they're going to let somebody get away with something. You got to move on. Britt was the aggressor, but then Kenya turned it into more than what it needed to be. This is a great example of sometimes you lose some and you leave it alone. Kenya should have opened in Charlotte. I think Kenya should have been a friend of the show too, because as a friend, she would be a meaty friend, whereas now she's a housewife with a sparse clip. I mean, with a sparse plot line.
And she didn't have much to show aside from her business anyways. Is she dating? The marriage falling apart has run its course. Like, it's only but so much she was going to talk about no matter what.
Right. It's like it's been like you've been on after 10 years. It's kind of like, well, we've told your story. We want to watch you. It's like we want to see new people. And then you should have something else going on after 10 years to go on to so we can watch you and be happy in that.
But that's why I always say somebody like Marlo would have been her saving grace. Because don't get me wrong. I know the people don't like Marlo, but Marlo would have never complained to the network about a stunt that Kenya pulled. There's a lot of things that her and Marlo could have gone back and forth with, and Marlo would have took it on the chin because, she's a Florida girl.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But they didn't want Marlo on the show. They said Marlo goes too low. She doesn't want to give Marlo a moment. And you know what? That's cool. But these new girls ain't going to take your shit.
That's true. Marlo would have taken that one on the chin and would have come back at you with a Mother's Day card or something.
Yes. And there would have been a back and forth between the two of them. And unfortunately for Marlo, the fans would have never been on her side. It wouldn't have mattered what Kenya did. They would have never been on her side. Kenya would have gotten away with it.
And now that we think about it, it's like, you know what? Do we want that show anymore? I don't want that show anymore.
It appears to me that you guys don't. And to be quite honest with you, I understand everybody is going up for her in these comments and, hashtagging, and Kenya is vindicated. But where is the support when it comes? That's why I said it's giving me season 5 of Potomac. Where is the support for the hair care spa? Why are you guys not booking when you guys lined up for OLG? Why is nobody at the spa?
Yep. Well, because it's only open 3 days a week. But I hope that now that we've seen everything I'm so glad they gave us everything that happened the night before. So now we can see, well, I mean, I'm sure they're going to blur the photo, but we pretty much know that they put her up mid-fellatio at Kenya Moore's hair salon to embarrass her. Yeah, Kenya, I would have left too. I would have left. I just would have been, this isn't it. This isn't it. Let's see. Oh, thank you. I'm glad I'm looking thinner.
I think she fit in better with this group of girls than she did with the last group on last season.
I think Marlo and Angela would be interesting. Marlo and Kelly would be interesting. But Marlo throwing them boys out, I don't think we can ever have her back after that. I was like, what?
We've seen worse on these housewife shows.
True. I don't know. Putting them kids out was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. But I'm going to wish the ladies well. I'm looking forward to this episode. And I'm going to get off here so I can finish eating because I don't want to keep eating on camera. And I want to thank you, Feisty, so much for joining me and reminding everybody of the Kenya Moore history, because people remember the hair care, but they don't always remember her history. And it's like, no, it's been 10 years. We should be somewhere different now. But
Tonight
also,
is going to be crazy, Alex. Like everybody's so like angsty and like the tension is so high to finally see what happened. So I don't know what the reaction is going to be, but I got a feeling that YouTube is going to be jumping tonight.
it's going to be jumping. It's going to be jumping. And I might have to come back live. All right. Well, I'm going to see y'all soon.
Bye,
Uh,
guys.